Athuur Wolfson finally arrives in Windhelm after an eventful journey since his escape from the Thalmor prison. And with the aid from citizens from Darkwater Crossing, Athuur was able to reach his destination with no trouble, as he looks upon Windhelm with a heavy heart, knowing that the last time he saw his home was nearly 10 years ago. And so, we continue the story of Athuur Wolfson.
If you've come to join the fight against the Empire, then you've come to the right place.
Athuur hears the god's comment, as he remembers a time in his life when he was motivated to join Ulfric's cause, only to realize how broken his will to fight is.
Everything feels so different now. Almost doesn't feel like home anymore.
Come to join the fight, huh? To talk to Galmar Stormfist. He'll see if you're Stormcloak material.
Guess I'll be seeing him at my earliest convenience. Thanks.
Oh, and welcome to Windhelm.
Athuur says whatever he can to the gods to not bring attention to himself as he enters the city, walking through the streets where he was raised as he proceeds towards another destination in Windhelm. A place he remembers rather well.
You're one of Galmar's new recruits. Come back tomorrow, and I'll get you sorted up with some armor and weapons. We're getting ready to close up shop for the day.
Athuur hears his uncle's voice as he struggles to come up with words to say, for never did he think this moment would come as he stands there, speechless.
Wait, by the gods, it's him.
What are you talking about, Hermir? By the grace of Talos. Athuur, could it really be you?
It's really him.
Hello, Uncle Wendell. It's been a long time.
Ah, I knew you'd survive. Come here, boy.
It's good to see you too, Uncle Wendell.
I knew it was you, Athuur. I always knew you survived. And now you've returned. Talos has surely blessed us.
Indeed, Talos has, Hermir. It's good to see you both alive and well.
Athuur, we thought you had died, boy. When they found your father's body, we thought that you had perished too. What in Soon's name happened to you, boy?
It's quite a tale, Uncle. May we speak inside?
Of course, boy. Let me put away my things, and we'll go inside to warm up.
Athuur finally makes contact with his only remaining family member that he has left, Uncle Wendell. For Athuur must now retell the events from the day that changed his life so many years ago. Once inside, Athuur informs them of his dreadful experience inside the Thalmor prison, from the regularly pit fights and his eventually escape from captivity as he holds nothing back.
Sure, have mercy, boy. I always knew the Thalmor were scum, but this is beyond unacceptable. We should have known not to believe the reports that your father Athuur was killed in a bandit attack. But we had no idea that you had been a prisoner of those Thalmor rats.
It was because of my father's actions that I'm still alive today. Because of his training, I was able to endure the torment of that prison. But now that I'm free, I don't know what to do, Uncle Engel. I want payback for what they did to us. But I'm so lost and broken that I don't know where to begin.
You want payback, then you've come back at the right time. You should join Jarl Ulfric's army, as you wanted to do all those years ago, make the Imperials and the Thalmor pay for what they did to you.
Easy, Hermir. Athuur's mind is too broken to be thinking about war. He needs to heal his mind and heart before he picks up an axe in Ulfric's name. Take all the time you need to rest and heal, boy. Your family, and always welcome to stay here.
Wait, what became of my father's manor, Hiram?
Sorry, Athuur, but after your father's death, the city eventually took it, and all its possessions. The Shatter Shields bought the place for their daughter, Frigga.
I see. Then I truly have lost everything. Had I been stronger on that faithful day, then perhaps father would be alive today. Better I had died that day instead of father.
Don't speak like that, boy. Ulfric knew what he was doing when he saved you. After all, you are my sister's son. You are your father's son. You're a man now. A man who has endured more than one should ever have to endure. You've been pushed to your limit time and time again, and yet, you survived, where many surely would have fallen. Don't let those painful moments shape you into something you're not, Athuur. You're better than that. Ulfric knew it, and I know it too.
I've killed so many Nords in that prison, Uncle Ungel. So many kinsmen, all just trying to survive. And in the end, I'm just a broken man who has lost everything.
Athuur, you did what you needed to do in order to survive. Those damn elves are at fault. Not you, because by the grace of Talos, the Thalmor will have what's coming to them someday, I swear. And also not all your father's possessions are gone, Athuur. After all, he did come and see me before you two set out to travel that day. This should cheer you up.
What do you mean, Uncle Ungel?
I bet this looks familiar.
Wait, is that my father's war axe?
That it is, boy. Come and see for yourself. Your father wanted me to sharpen it for when he returned. Which unfortunately never happened.
I don't know what to say, Uncle. Thank you for keeping this for so many years.
The thread was a fine thing, and deserved better. They gave him a proper burial, just outside the Hall of the Dead. Just promise me that you'll pay your respects, and the axe is yours.
Of course, Uncle Ungel. I'll see him immediately in the morning. Oh, and thanks for everything.
No need to thank me, boy. We both know your father would have wanted you to have that axe. I'm just glad that you're alive to finally accept it. Come now, let us eat and rest. Gods know you've earned it.
And so, Athuur does as his uncle requests, and joins them for dinner. For Athuur has now in his possession his father's axe, a symbol of strength that Athuur will always remember his father by. Later that night, Athuur is giving a place to lay down for the night, as he takes a moment to collect his thoughts. He holds his father's axe firmly as his thoughts fall upon his childhood, thinking of his father and how their lives would be impacted today had he survived. When suddenly, Ymir approaches with her own ulterior motives. And as Athuur watched her step towards him, he knew what topic was going to come to mind.
Looks like we finally have a moment alone. It's been a long time, Athuur. Mind if I sit down with you?
Not at all, Hermir. I can't believe it's almost been 10 years since I've last seen you. 10 years since I've last seen anyone, to be exact.
I know that couldn't have been easy for you, Athuur. We heard the reports that your father was killed by bandits, and you were missing. I didn't know what to expect. But now that you're back with us, makes me think of how times were before. And where do we go from here?
The memories of us are good memories, Hermir. We were young and ambitious.
We were more than young and ambitious, Athuur. We were inseparable and in love. Wouldn't you agree?
Those were different times, Hermir. We were teens who knew nothing of the world we lived in. And when I became captive of the Thalmor, it changed me for the worse. The truth is, Hermir, is that I'm no longer the young, ambitious Nord you fell in love with at the Forge all those years ago. And truthfully, I don't know what I am anymore.
I can only imagine the horrors you faced in that prison, Athuur. I'm sorry I couldn't be there for you when you needed someone the most. But as time went on, I also found myself changing with the world around us.
If you're saying that you've moved on, then I would completely understand, Hermir.
No, Athuur, you misunderstood. I didn't find happiness while you were away. I found inspiration.
Inspiration?
Yes, inspiration through Jarl Ulfric Stormcloak, for his words are true and pure. He is the reason why I continue to forge weapons for his army. He is the salvation that Skyrim needs. And he can also be the means to get the revenge against the Thalmor too. Revenge for what they did to you, and what they took away from you.
I hear what you are saying, Hermir. And yes, the Thalmor will pay someday for what they took away from me. For what they took away from others. But I'm just not ready to make that commitment yet, for I am too far damaged.
Athuur, you're not being yourself right now. I'm trying to help you. You were going to join Ulfric's army before, remember? This is how you heal, Athuur. Turn your sadness into vengeance and show those elves that free men and women can choose whoever god they wish to worship.
In due time, Hermir. Believe me, I want revenge more than you think, but I'm no good to anyone like this.
You survived when you were surrounded by death, Athuur. You are exactly what Ulfric Stormcloak needs. This is what you need.
Hermir, I'm sorry, but I just can't right now. My heart just isn't in it anymore. I've killed enough of my own kinsmen. I won't kill another if I don't have to.
I see, Athuur. You aren't the same person as before. Time has a way of changing people. I just hope you find what you're looking for before it's too late.
I hope so too, Hermir.
It's getting late. I'm off to bed now. Good night, Athuur.
Good night, Hermir.
Athuur holds his thoughts, as he didn't expect Hermir to be so forceful regarding his own recovery. Wondering what has Hermir gone through herself to make her so infatuated with Ulfric Stormcloak and his uprising. But nevertheless, Athuur has much to process as he looks at his father's ass, hoping that he will someday live up to his father's name and possibly become a Thane of Eastmarch himself. But before Athuur can begin the healing process, Athuur must first confront his father's grudge. A promise that Athuur made to himself and to his uncle as he wonders how he will hold himself together. And so, Athuur shuts his eyes as he prepares for what can be the hardest moment to endure since that fateful day so many years ago. Morning arrives as Athuur heads towards his father's grave. And with each step he takes, he finds his heart pulling downwards beneath him, as he realizes that he could never truly prepare for this moment. For here lies Athuur Wolfsong, great Thane of Eastmarch.
Father, I've gone over this moment in my head many times and still find myself unable to stand before you. For I am not worthy to stand before you and ask for forgiveness. I'm so lost and alone, and I don't know where I belong in this world. The truth is, Father, is that the wrong Nord died on that day. That had you survived instead, you would be the symbol of hope that Skyrim needs right now, not some broken soul like me. For I am a failure, Father, a failure unworthy of the name Wolfsong. But I promise you this, Father. As long as there is breath in my lungs, that I will do everything in my power to uphold the values that you have taught me, and maybe even someday redeem myself for allowing the Thalmor to break me as they did. Or I'll die trying in hopes that I am worthy enough to join you in Sovngarde. Until then, goodbye, Father.
As Athuur returned to his uncle's forge, his emotions felt conflicted, as if he wants to fulfill his promise to his father but doesn't know if he has the willpower to truly pick himself back up and begin anew. And with much on Athuur's mind, he decides to clear his thoughts as he hopes that working with his uncle today will give him purpose and help begin the healing process and ease his burden.
So how'd it go, Athuur? Did you make peace with your father?
Guess I'll know in due time, Uncle Ungol. I have much to reflect on. In the meantime, let me grab a shop apron and join you at the forge. I could really use a distraction from all that has been going on lately.
Athuur grabs a shop apron and joins his uncle and Hermir at the forge as he tries to rekindle his rusted forging skills. Skills that he learned in his youth as he begins to recall the many days he spent here with his uncle when his father was performing tasks and bounties for the hold of Eastmarch. But as the hours go on, Athuur realizes that the sinking feeling in his heart doesn't go away, but deepens instead. As if working the forge with his uncle made him think more of his failures. But nevertheless, Athuur tries to make himself useful, but with every passing moment, his surroundings remind him of a life that is no more.
I don't think Athuur should be working the forge so soon.
Hey, he's got a lot to recover from. If it helps ease the burden, then let him be.
As you wish, Oengel.
Even the others had noticed how uneasy Athuur had become, as he easily loses focus on the simple tasks while working the forge. For it had now become clear that Athuur was still suffering on the inside, and is no longer the same Nord who once worked this same forge many years ago. As they retire for the evening, Athuur sits by himself as he learns that being in Windhelm is too painful for him.
It's okay, boy. You did your best. I'm sure with more practice, it will get easier.
That's not it, Uncle Orngel. My heart just isn't in it like it used to be. Everywhere I look, I am reminded of a life that was once mine. A life that doesn't even feel like it's mine anymore. As if I don't belong here.
Athuur, we spoke about this last night. You belong in Ulfric's army, just like you were going to join all those years ago.
That's not going to fix his problem, Hermir. Athuur needs to find his own identity. Who he was then is not who he is now. He needs to search within his own soul and find the motivation he needs in order to pick himself back up. Isn't that right, Athuur?
Yes, Uncle. It's true my purpose now is clouded, and being here just reminds me of that.
You don't owe me any explanation, Athuur. You will always be my nephew. You need to find your own motivation in life that drives you to keep going. You know I'll always be here and help you in any way I can, but you need to do some soul searching and ask yourself, what is it that you want to do with your own life, Athuur?
Thank you, Uncle Ungol, but I'm just not ready to be accepted back into civilization yet, let alone to kill again. Whether it be in Ulfric's name or in self-defense, I've killed enough of our kind as it is. I'll just end up doing more harm than good.
Easy, Athuur.
I want to help, but I'm so broken and alone.
Broken, yes. Alone, never. The Thalmor may have broken your mind and body, but there's one thing that a Nord keeps, and that's their pride. Always remember your father's pride, and you'll never be alone.
Athuur, if you would just...
That's enough now, Hermir.
Fine, take care of yourself, Athuur. I hope you find what you're looking for.
Never mind her, Athuur. You've got your own obstacles to overcome just as she does. Will you be okay out there on your own? You of all people know how dangerous it can be.
I will, Uncle Oingo. I just need some time away from here to find myself, and to find where I belong in this world. Thank you, Uncle Oingo, for everything.
No need to thank me, boy. I'm just doing what your mother and father would have wanted me to do. I'll get you sorted up with a few supplies and some furs for your journey.
Athuur doesn't waste any time as he says his farewells and departs Windhelm immediately, not even waiting until morning as he is eager to begin the next chapter of his life. For the young Nord isn't ready to join the Jarl's rebellion just yet, knowing that the torment that he endured in the Thalmor prison has scarred him deeply, making him question his purpose in life as he tries to find his place in this new world. And so, Athuur sets out on a new adventure, and leaves his home of Windhelm. For the next several hours as Athuur roams the hold of Eastmarch, he begins to recall memories of his youth, hunting in these very same lands as he now reflects on how little the world has changed in his absence. For Skyrim is yet to gain independence from the Empire, and negotiations are still as they were 10 years ago, long before Athuur became a prisoner of the Thalmor. But throughout his time in captivity, Athuur never imagined that he would feel like an outsider in his own homeland, as he must now navigate life on his own. But Athuur remembers well from his father that life in Skyrim is harsh and short, and if you aren't prepared for it, that you will fall victim to the many possible ways of death that awaits for you in this cold land. And it just so happens that Athuur has seen his fair share of death already. And so, Athuur hopes that his killing days are long behind him as he comes across an old hunting shack he remembers from his youth, wondering if he can take shelter for the rest of the night until morning and reflect upon what to do next with his life.
Looks like it's vacant tonight. Perhaps the gods are starting to favor my luck for once.
As Athuur takes a seat on the old bed, he begins to recall the citizens at Darkwater Crossing, and remembers Aniko's offer about starting over and beginning fresh. He then sits back and looks upon the snow flurries falling through the hut, and begins to wonder if his father is looking upon his actions from Sylvangard as he opens his palm.
It's not that I'm scared of fighting in Ulfric's war, Father. It's just that I don't want to kill more of our own kinsmen anymore. I did horrible things in that prison, things I'm not proud of. And if I have a chance to not take lives anymore, then by shore, I think I should try to live my life in peace.
And so, Athuur closes his eyes as he hopes he can seek the peace he so desperately wants. But as fate would seem, the land of Skyrim would come to test Athuur in a different way. For bandits had now stumbled upon Athuur in the early hours of the morning. And Athuur was soon to be reminded that perhaps the choice of killing wasn't entirely his to make, especially in the land of kill or be killed.
What the?
Well, looky what we have here. Ha 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 ha. Did we wake you?
He looks to be confused. Rogoto will jog his memory, yes?
Not so fast, Gotto. Surely our friend here realizes the severity of his mistake. Isn't that right, friend?
I'm sorry. Mistake? Who are you people?
That, my friend, is the Silver Septim question now, isn't it? We'll get to that in a moment, but just know you're trespassing on Mistwatch territory and need to pay the toll for passing through.
Mistwatch? This is Eastmarch Hold, governed by Windhelm, the last I remember. And as far as this shack, I thought it was abandoned. I thought I could rest for a few hours freely. My apologies for the misunderstanding.
Misunderstanding, huh? Well, my friend, I got good news for you. Since it was a misunderstanding, I'll allow you to pay half the usual toll and let it slide, for about 100 septims. That sounds fair, right, friend?
I'm sorry, but I do not carry that much gold on me. Perhaps we can overlook this incident and go our separate ways.
Is that right? Just like that?
Just like that.
That's a nice-looking axe you got there, friend. I bet it's worth a pretty septim or two. Hand it over, and we'll forget about our misunderstanding. We have a deal?
I'm sorry, but you're not taking this axe.
Why you got to go and act stupid? I was being nice, friend. We were getting along just fine. But now I'm getting fed up. Hand over the axe, and maybe I'll let you keep your life.
No.
Well, that's too damn bad, because I'm taking that axe, even if it's off your dead corpse.
You won't be harming anyone. Now remove yourself from my presence, or else.
Ha! You're threatening me now. Don't make me laugh. You must really be delusional if you think you can take the four of us on, especially when my dagger is plunged straight through your gut.
Looks like your math is wrong, friend.
Is that so?
Yes, because that dagger of yours is now my dagger. Meaning that you won't be doing any type of fighting, understand?
What the? How'd you do that?
Kill him.
So the gods would still have me spill more blood. So be it.
I yield, please. Don't hurt me. We can talk about this, right?
Tell me, Bandit, do you have any idea?
Any idea? Any idea of what, exactly? Ah! Please don't kill me!
Do you have any idea how many people I've already killed? I've killed Nords, Imperials, men and Mer, and all in the name of survival. And you think that I'm going to let you cut me down after what I have endured? Is that it?
I don't know what you're talking about. Just let me live, please. Show mercy.
Remember this moment, Marauder, and pray we never cross paths again.
Damn, who was that guy? Boss isn't going to like this.
And so Athuur's hand was forced to kill once more as he continues to roam the lands of Skyrim. For Athuur thought this adventure would be what he needed to make himself whole again, hoping that it would fill the void within him. That perhaps his days of taking lives in the name of survival were long behind him. But Athuur was clearly mistaken. For the gods had different plans for the young grieving North. plans that would come to test his resolve and his commitment to his father and himself.